Ugh, cringe, Kinsey, as if the whole episode couldn't get a lot worse.
Bullying file this thick at Buckingham Palace.
Really beloved in Australia. So obviously Meghan decided to hate her and decide that she's a real bitch. And she totally castigated Poe behind the scenes.
Meghan raised holy fucking hell.
One of the judges, I think she was mocking Meghan.
MasterChef tried to hand Meghan Markle the cleanest television comeback possible, but even a polished edit could not stop the cracks from showing. The episode arrived wrapped in applause, flattering music, smiling contestants, and a surprise call from Prince Harry that landed at exactly the right second. Everything looked controlled.
You'll remember the Sandringham summit was absolutely adamant in the fact that Meghan was not able to commercialize aspects of the British royal family. Yet my understanding, Meghan, is she's been paid for this MasterChef Australia experience. She wasn't doing this for altruistic reasons. She's not donating her fee to a charity. This is straight money in her pocket, and yet she used her Duchess title within it. So that is immediately a contravention of the Sandringham summit.
Everything sounded rehearsed. Everything was designed to make Meghan look confident, warm, and completely at home in the kitchen. But the more she talked, the stranger it became. Today, we are breaking down the moments the final broadcast could not hide. The answers that collapsed under the easiest questions. The awkward exchanges that forced the real judges to take over.
She has an entire brand, guys, about cooking items. They even call it artisanal kitchen items. And you watched her on this show, and I am absolutely 100% positive Meghan Markle does not cook at home. She does not. Nor does she know anything about hosting. Because one of the comments she made about hosting, all I can think of is, honey, you never host. You have an army of people in the kitchen doing the work for you. You're not doing the work.
And the missing footage that may explain why parts of Meghan's appearance were quietly removed before the episode reached television. This was supposed to be perfect advertising. Meghan did not enter MasterChef as a random celebrity guest. She arrived with a lifestyle show, a food brand, expensive jars, tea, honey, gift boxes, and an entire public image built around effortless cooking and elegant hosting. The kitchen should have been her safest possible stage.
As you get through the show, I kind of couldn't help but see, especially one of the judges, I think she was mocking Meghan. I think she was very, very subtly twisting what Meghan's PR team told them to do, keeping referring to her as the Duchess, and called her out for obviously being so incredibly fake when attempting to try things and tell somebody it was good, because Meghan cannot act.
Instead, one basic question nearly exposed the whole performance. Meghan was asked to name her favorite dish to cook for her family. That was it. No mystery box, no complicated technique, no pressure test. She did not have to cook anything. She only had to name one meal.
You could almost feel her PR team whispering in their ear, telling them how much they have to praise her for her obvious, very mediocre, absolute amateur, so unworthy of this competition skills that it actually boggles the mind.
Before we continue, one quick thing. One thing I've realized is that most families don't have their important information organized in one place. That's exactly why I recommend the Family Vault, a simple, printable, and fillable organizer where you can keep everything from important documents and insurance to medical information, passwords. You'll find the link in the description, or you can simply scan the QR code on your screen. Now let's get back to today's story. Meghan said it was a difficult question because she had several palates to please. Then she began listing categories. Harry likes meat, potatoes, and creamy sauces. She prefers grilled fish, grilled meat, citrus, herbs, spices, and a little heat. But she never named the dish. Not one actual meal. No curry, no pasta, no roast, no family recipe, no easy dinner everyone asks for again and again.
To me, this is ridiculous. So any guest on MasterChef say, well, okay, any MasterChef, their other half, and say, well, I just think, could my other half just ring in and say hi to me while I'm a guest on this program? That is just so naff. But let's be honest, we know why she did it. It is to prove her royal credentials.
The question was simple, but the answer became a fog of ingredients, lifestyle phrases, and broad descriptions that sounded polished without saying anything. Then the conversation drifted into how Australians pronounce the word herbs. That change of subject was almost too convenient. Discussing pronunciation was safer than admitting she could not produce one clear answer to the easiest cooking question of the episode. And this matters because Meghan is not merely claiming she enjoys food.
Can I ask you, please, Meghan, what is your favorite dish to cook for the family?
That's a tough one. It's a tough one because I have a lot of palates to appease.
She don't cook.
I'm sorry.
She don't cook.
It's weird. Even like I don't cook, but I've got like my 5 go-tos as a mother of 3 children that, you know, I will cook. If you ask me that, my answer would be lasagna. Everybody loves it. I've learned how to cook it. It's a crowd pleaser. Why can't she name the favorite meal? I've got a lot of palates to appease. So does every mother on earth. What are you saying? Of course, obviously you have more than one child. You do.
She is selling food. She is asking customers to trust her taste. She is presenting herself as someone who understands ingredients, hospitality, family meals, and the relaxed magic of bringing people together around a table. Yet when MasterChef gave her a giant international platform to prove that image with one specific example, she delivered adjectives: fresh, natural, seasonal, playful, balanced.
Conveniently interrupted by a call from her husband. You've been on active sets. How often do they tell you to turn your cell phone off or have it on vibrate or put it on airplane mode when you are on a live set? And Meghan Markle, who's supposed to be the queen of Suits, are you telling me she didn't know when to have her cell phone off?
Those are perfect words for a product label. They are not dinner. The same problem returned when Meghan was asked what she would personally make from the ingredients placed in front of the contestants. Now, she had another opportunity to take control. She had talked about creativity. She had told the cooks to choose a hero ingredient. She had encouraged them to build a story and create something meaningful. Then she looked at the ingredients and suggested carrot top pesto. Pesto again.
When these outlets are going to learn that the stink of La Markle is very hard. It's more difficult. It's a more difficult odor to remove than that of a skunk spraying you. Okay.
She mentioned pasta, then perhaps fish. Then several other possibilities began appearing at once. The answer stretched so far that one of the hosts finally jumped in with "so many things," almost ending the sentence for her. That tiny exchange was more revealing than any dramatic argument. The guest was supposed to inspire professional-level cooking. Instead, the professional host appeared to rescue the guest from her own wandering answer.
Cook something fit for a duchess. Well, I didn't think she wanted to be known as anything royal. So
No, she does. She wants to be Duchess of Sussex, but she feigned disdain for the royalty line. You know, we're used to having royalty in the kitchen, but this is, a whole other level, something along the lines of that.
Meghan's strongest language was never about technique. It was about branding. She wanted a hero item. She wanted nostalgia. She wanted a personal story. She wanted the food to feel emotional and memorable. That language works beautifully in a marketing meeting. It makes a jar sound special. It makes a gift basket feel personal. It turns ordinary products into part of a lifestyle fantasy. But MasterChef contestants cannot serve a story without serving a good plate.
I think Meghan did a pretty good job at feigning surprise. I think anyone would have to be a little foolish to think that she didn't know that Harry was going to be calling in. The timing was immaculate, that she should happen to be taste testing those contestants' dishes right as he called and a crew member came on set with the phone.
They were racing against a clock. They were controlling heat, texture, acidity, sweetness, timing, and presentation. They needed useful criticism, not a soft speech about memories. That difference became impossible to miss once the real judges started speaking. They discussed technique, they identified what worked, they explained what failed, they could tell a contestant exactly how the dish connected to his background and where the emotional idea appeared in the food.
Global icon, which Meghan Markle is not. She is not a global icon. In her mind, maybe, but not really. Catherine's a global icon. Meghan Markle is not, because Meghan Markle, to me, to be an icon, you actually need to be well-liked and is successful and accomplished, and Meghan Markle is none of those things. So she can't be an icon. She's not a philanthropist. She hardly does charity work, and she basically does charity work for the good feels of it in terms of her good feels. She also is not a humanitarian because everything serves Meghan Markle.
Meghan usually stayed in the safest possible territory. Beautiful, interesting, meaningful, creative, bold, pleasant words. Almost no risk. At one point, she asked a contestant making a complex dessert whether he was thinking about different textures and flavors. He was standing in the MasterChef kitchen building a competition dessert. Of course, he was thinking about textures and flavors.
Bullying file this thick at Buckingham Palace. Keep antagonizing the palace, Meghan. Keep doing it. That was also an FU to King Charles and Prince William, what she did with that photo of the children and Harry at Althorp. That was a fuck you. That was her rage explosion.
The question sounded less like expert guidance and more like a line inserted to keep Meghan involved, while the serious cooking continued around her. Then came an exchange that made viewers watch Meghan's face instead of the food. One host gave a contestant detailed feedback about his Malaysian heritage. She explained how his background could be felt in the plate and why that emotional connection mattered. Meghan sat beside her, suddenly quiet. Some viewers thought she was simply listening. Others believed her expression tightened because the genuine food expert had taken over the entire conversation without needing a giant introduction or a royal title. Whatever Meghan was thinking, the contrast was brutal.
Meghan Markle attempts to seem like any sort of chef in the kitchen and continues to obfuscate any of her skills, basically distracting every time somebody brings up her actually cooking something. It's really, really astounding. And the whole thing was so saccharine that you could just actually feel the sugar coming through the screen. You were actually on a sugar high afterwards because they were so ridiculously over the top with her.
The host did not have to remind anyone that she belonged there. Her knowledge did that for her. Meghan needed the episode to keep telling the audience why she mattered. The introduction praised her. The contestants praised her. The challenge revolved around her. The dishes were made for her. Even the kitchen slogan became, "Make it sparkle" for Meghan Markle. After a while, it stopped feeling like a normal MasterChef guest appearance. It felt like a promotional special where every person in the room had been instructed to make Meghan look important. One contestant told Meghan that he was building his idea around her and wanted to create something connected to California. Meghan replied that she loved that he was thinking about her.
She's known for her huge heart. No, she's not. This is a woman who literally had somebody hand deliver to her father in the hospital a kind of notary note going, "Well, I hope you're okay. Please don't contact me ever again."
That answer landed badly because the entire challenge was already about her. The contestants were cooking for Meghan. The ingredients reflected Meghan. The judges were discussing Meghan. The cameras were following Meghan. Even when a contestant was fighting for his future in the competition, the moment returned to how much attention he was giving Meghan. She could have redirected the focus toward him. She could have asked about his story, his dish, or why the idea mattered to him. Instead, the praise came back to her. Then, Meghan transformed a basic time call into another full performance.
You know I'm Sussex now.
So one would think, okay, that was relatively recently, right? That was within the past year or so. So she's Meghan Sussex, right? We're supposed to call her Sussex. Meghan Sussex? Let's take a look.
Do we call you Duchess? Oh, call me Meghan. Absolutely.
I'm just Meghan. I'm just Meghan.
Normally, someone announces the time to the whole kitchen. The contestants hear it, panic for 1 second, and keep cooking. Meghan said she did not like to yell. So she walked around the room and told every contestant individually that 30 minutes remained, one by one. She approached each station, made eye contact, delivered the warning, waited for a response, and repeatedly explained that she was telling them personally. The contestants were chopping, mixing, reducing sauces, and watching the clock. Yet they had to stop, look at Meghan, smile, answer politely, and participate in a tiny private scene while their time continued disappearing. The show treated it as cute.
And how terrible everything was written all over her face, including the banana bread made specially for Meghan by one of the judges on the show, which I'm sure was magnificent. But Meghan acted like it was one of the worst things she had ever eaten.
One person joked that it was an elegant time call. Another compared it to ASMR. But underneath the laughter, the scene revealed something stranger. Meghan could not simply perform the ordinary task. It had to become softer, more personal, more refined, more memorable, more centered on her. A single shout would have taken 2 seconds. Her version turned into an entire sequence, and the episode kept doing this. Routine moments became Meghan moments. Contestants became supporting characters. The cooking competition became a vehicle for her image. Then the banana bread arrived. One of the hosts prepared banana bread for Meghan, connecting it to the loaf Meghan famously brought during an earlier visit to Australia.
Meghan, we know you were not, let's say, invited. You invited yourself. As you invite yourself everywhere. This is a funny thing. She invites herself everywhere, guys. It's really, really odd. That just shows you so much about Meghan, is that she's not actually invited. She invites herself.
This should have been an effortless, warm exchange. Meghan tasted it, but her first reaction looked surprisingly flat. Her face tightened. There was no immediate huge smile and no instant burst of excitement matching the endless praise around the rest of the episode. A moment later, she asked for the recipe. Maybe she was concentrating. Maybe the flavor surprised her. Maybe viewers read too much into a split-second expression. But the clip became fascinating because it looked uncontrolled. For once, Meghan's face seemed to react before the polished television personality returned. And remember, this was the final edit. The audience was not seeing raw footage.
Have a cheesy call with her husband just to further enhance her royal credentials is just naff beyond belief. But obviously the program makers thought it was something that was well worth inserting, or it may have been something that she insisted on. I have no idea. But it just, to me, just seems so wrong that you need your other half to sort of almost give you credibility.
Producers had already reviewed every camera angle, cut down conversations, shortened pauses, moved reaction shots, added music, and selected the version they wanted people to see. They could hide weak moments. They could replace an awkward reaction with a smile from another angle. They could remove silence. They could shorten answers that wandered. They could surround Meghan with applause and cheerful music until the entire appearance felt successful. Yet the broadcast still showed her avoiding a simple question about dinner, struggling to explain what she would cook, falling back on pesto, giving vague feedback, and turning a time warning into a personal tour of the kitchen. That is why the unseen material is so important.
Now, Poe was apparently upset at having accidentally gone against Meghan's wishes, which says to me that Meghan raised holy fucking hell.
If this was the best version, what did they remove? How long were the original pauses? How many answers were tightened? How many uncomfortable reactions were covered by shots of smiling contestants? How many comments from the real judges were added around Meghan's weaker contributions to keep the conversation moving? The final episode occasionally felt less like an appearance and more like an editing rescue. That is what made the episode feel so revealing. Meghan was not being asked to survive a hostile interview. She was surrounded by hosts, lighting, controlled questions, and contestants who had every reason to remain polite.
I love how they're calling it a debut, because that to me implies like she might be back. Trust me, she will not be back. She will not be asked back. She may ask herself back, and I think they're going to give her some sort of lame excuse like, we're stacked for the season.
There was no challenge designed to trap her, no surprise ingredient, and no expert demanding that she demonstrate a technique. The environment had been built to protect her. Yet the safest setting still produced hesitation, vague answers, and moments when the professionals had to move the conversation forward. That gap is the story. If a guest looks uncertain while everyone around her is helping, praising, and redirecting, the problem cannot be blamed on pressure. It suggests the image was stronger than the knowledge underneath it, and no amount of editing could close that gap.
Meghan leaves a state, her husband too, wherever they go, whatever they touch, they turn it into a disaster area. They turn it into a hazmat site.
Not because Meghan caused one enormous disaster on camera, but because small problems appeared constantly. The image said experienced host. The answers said branding language. The image said passionate home cook. The details never arrived. The image said effortless. The production looked extremely busy, making everything feel effortless. Then Prince Harry called. A crew member entered with a phone while Meghan was tasting food. Harry appeared on FaceTime. Meghan greeted him with, "Hi, my love," and the contestants reacted as though a royal surprise had dropped directly into the kitchen.
I don't think this went well in terms of filming. And I definitely think the two female hosts really, really caught on to Meghan and were really able to figure out quite quickly that Meghan didn't know what she was talking about, couldn't really evaluate any of the food, and just is an absolute dope on this program.
The timing was almost too perfect. Television sets do not operate like casual family kitchens. Phones are controlled. Cameras need positions. Audio has to be captured. Producers need to know where people are standing. A crew member does not normally walk into the middle of a filmed tasting without someone understanding what is about to happen. Harry called while Meghan was in place. The contestants were gathered. The cameras were rolling. The phone was physically brought into the scene. And viewers were expected to believe the moment simply happened. That is why so many people called it cringe. It looked planned. More importantly, Harry's appearance solved a problem. Meghan's cooking authority was looking weak, but Harry could instantly restore the part of her brand that still attracts the most attention, her royal connection. The second he appeared, the conversation stopped being about whether Meghan understood food.
No way! Let's go live to Reed Butler in LA. Reed, just how on earth did this happen?
I know, what a coincidence, right? Thank goodness the team at MasterChef were filming for that totally random and natural, unscripted moment when Harry called Meghan.
Now, the contestants were waving at a prince. Now the show had a Sussex couple moment. Now Meghan was no longer merely a lifestyle guest trying to sound credible in a professional kitchen. She was the Duchess speaking to Prince Harry on camera. The phone call acted like a reset button, and it exposed the contradiction running through the entire episode. Meghan wanted to be presented as an independent businesswoman and lifestyle figure, but the biggest moment depended on the man who made her royal. She wanted the appearance to prove her personal expertise, but the show's loudest reaction came when Harry appeared on a phone. She wanted the kitchen to sell her food identity, yet the episode kept returning to the Duchess identity. There was also a basic business problem.
When the episode aired, the mention of royalty was cut out. Instead, as we saw and heard, she was introduced as a, quote, global icon, philanthropist, humanitarian, and business owner, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Before we continue, I want to mention something really quick. Organizing your family's important information is one of those things most of us know we should do, but we keep putting it off. That's exactly why there's the Family Vault. It gives you one place to organize your important documents, insurance, medical information, passwords, and more, so everything is easy to find when it's needed. You'll find the link in the description, or you can scan the QR code on your screen. That's all. Now, let's get back to today's story. Critics quickly noted that Meghan's products were not even readily available to Australian customers at the time of the appearance. So the audience could watch her promote a global lifestyle image, but many local viewers could not easily buy the products behind it. Once again, the publicity appeared to arrive before the practical plan. Build the headlines first, create international attention, let distribution catch up later. Meghan also claimed to be a major MasterChef fan. When asked about it, she said, "Of course. Who isn't a MasterChef fan?" and described herself as honored to be there. But when she was asked to choose between the Australian and American versions, she refused to pick one. That may have been simple diplomacy.
Food and cooking to me is really a love language. I think it's such a great way to connect. It's something that can feel sentimental and meaningful, and it's how I show my nurturing and love for my friends, family, and my kids.
She's not doing this for the money. Don't even suggest it, Tash. She's not doing this for the money. She's doing this because it is her love language, okay?
It also happened to be the safest answer possible for someone who did not want to reveal how closely she followed either show. That safe pattern appeared everywhere. Do not name a family dish. Name categories. Do not offer detailed technical criticism. Say the food is meaningful. Do not choose between versions. Praise both. Do not shout the time. Turn it into a personal performance. Do not let the episode remain about cooking. Bring in Harry. And then, near the end, we reach the part that was definitely changed. Promotional material had reportedly introduced Meghan using the word royalty. When the full episode aired, That word had disappeared.
Call me cynical, but I don't believe for a second that Prince Harry just happened to FaceTime Meghan Markle while the cameras were rolling. I think we've watched Meghan operate long enough to know that very little about the presentation of brand Meghan is accidental. She's a total control freak, if I'm being like the nicest way I could possibly say it.
It was replaced by a huge introduction calling Meghan a global icon, philanthropist, humanitarian, business owner, and a woman known for her love of home cooking. The original word was removed, but the praise became even larger. That decision makes no sense unless somebody cared deeply about the exact wording. The show could call her the Duchess of Sussex. Contestants could prepare a dish fit for a duchess. Her title could be repeated. Harry could appear. Royal status could be used to make the episode feel special. But royalty was reportedly unacceptable. Reports also claimed the host who used the description became deeply upset and was allegedly pushed to tears. She reportedly wanted to contact Meghan directly, but production was said to have stepped in and handled the problem.
She's not engaged in cooking, and she's trying so exceptionally hard that it could not look more forced. Meghan Markle needs to give up on this dream on somehow having a chef career or something and try to do something that's a little bit more in her wheelhouse.
There is no public footage proving exactly what happened backstage, so that claim remains an allegation. But the edit itself is real. The word appeared in promotion and vanished from the episode. That means the production was willing to change the final broadcast. And once viewers know one uncomfortable moment was removed, every other awkward cut becomes more suspicious. MasterChef was supposed to make Meghan's lifestyle image stronger. Instead, it showed how much work is required to protect it. The introduction had to be enormous. The questions had to stay gentle. The contestants had to keep praising her. The real judges had to carry the technical discussion. Harry had to arrive at the perfect moment, and a disputed description had to disappear before broadcast. That is not a natural kitchen appearance. That is a carefully managed television operation. The strangest part is that the operation still failed to hide the most important problem. Meghan walked into MasterChef to prove she belonged in the food world, but the episode made viewers question whether the food world was ever truly hers. What do you think? Did the producers protect Meghan by removing the most uncomfortable footage? Or did the polished edit make the entire performance look even more controlled? Tell me below, like the video, share it, and subscribe to Hollywood Yesterday for more.